Hi, Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 2 of the May daily draws as we start the weekend. Let's see what message we get, and I'll be taking the first card from the Druidcraft Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. King of Swords. Interesting. So we had the Emperor yesterday. Now we have the King of Swords. And that was about, the Emperor was about getting organized, getting routines in place, about structure, about taking charge. And the King of Swords, I mean, to me, the kings fall under that Emperor kind of energy. So we're continuing the theme somewhat, particularly in the realm of our thoughts and our communication. So now we may be thinking today about organizing our thoughts. Maybe yesterday was more about organizing things in general. Now we're sort of focusing more on our thinking, our thoughts, our ideas, and putting them into order, and maybe writing them down and putting them in some kind of way that we can begin to focus and understand our thoughts and ideas. And maybe we need to be a little bit more organized in our communication. Maybe our communication has not been as great as what it could be. And we may need to take steps to change that, to communicate better. And the King of Swords is definitely a very good communicator and could come to help us do such as that. So we're looking at our thought life, we're looking at our means of communication, how we express ourselves. Do we do it confidently? Do I choose our words properly? Do we get tongue-tied? Do we struggle to find the right words? Maybe we need some King of Swords energy to help us put our ideas across, and what we want to convey to people a bit more clearly, succinctly, concisely, choosing the right words at the right time, getting the right tone of voice as well, getting the right tone of communication. There's all kinds of elements to this that, it can be difficult to get over what we mean sometimes. Do we need to write it down first? If we're sending a letter, obviously we can write it down and change it and rewrite it several times. Same with sending an email or a text. Before we press send, we can make sure we can read it back and listen to it, read it out loud. So quite often, reading something out loud your ear can detect something that your eyes can't when you read, when you're reading it silently, and you get to hear how it sounds when it's expressed. And because even when we write to someone or send a text to someone and they read it, subconsciously, I think they hear it in our voice. So, I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I imagine, because I know from my experience, if I receive something written from somebody else, I hear it in their voice. I don't have to actually hear the physical voice, but in my mind, I can hear their voice saying the words that I'm reading. So if we read it aloud, we get to used to the words, we get used to does it convey the right meaning, and then when we're sure, we can press the send and send the email or the text, and hopefully we will get our message across. But also the other point of the other aspect of good communication is our ability to listen. See, good communication is a two-way thing. And it's not just conveying what we want or what we need to say. It's also listening to what the other party in the conversation is saying back to us. Because we need to understand where they're coming from. We need them to be able to convey a response, and we need to be able to understand the response. We need to get to hear their point of view so we can then respond again. Likewise, if we don't listen to them, then there's no true communication. So maybe restrain ourselves, perhaps, from jumping in wanting to, just want to get our point across and not taking the time to listen to what the other person has to say. Maybe that's the message today. Maybe we need to do a bit more listening. Everybody wants to say their bit. And yes, that's okay that we want to express ourselves. But if we all do that but nobody listens, then what's the point of it? We're just wasting our voice. So there's no understanding, there's no true communication. Listening, to my mind, is so important. And not just listening to the actual words, but what we feel that they're trying to convey of themselves through those words. That is true communication. That is true connection. And he's almost like his hand on his chin as if he's thinking, pondering. And he could be listening to somebody there, and he's paying attention, and he's evaluating what's being said, so that he can formulate a true response, a true and clear response to what's being said. So maybe it's our communication that this card is talking about today, and the importance of listening to other people, not just getting our point across, which, okay, is important, but we also need to understand where other people are coming from too, because they may say something that will enlighten us and make us perhaps adjust the way we want to convey our feelings, our ideas, because of what we've received from them. Maybe it will influence how we respond to them. It's so important that we listen. So that may be the key word for today is listen. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Okay, here we go. Hand fasting. So that's like a pagan ritual where people are joined together in a committed relationship, and the ribbons are placed around them to join them together, fastening them together. The hand fasting, it's that connection there. Usually, it's like a form. It can be a form of marriage. In that sense, joining them together, linking them together as one. But to my mind, it's about connection too. And communication bonds us together, where we both listen, we speak, and we listen to one another. There's that two-way communication that forms the bond of friendship and other kinds of relationships and strengthens it. through our to and fro of communication. It's like a ribbon that binds us together, good communication, because we begin to understand one another. And the more we understand one another, the deeper our bond and connection is. So let's seek to maintain that two-way communication of not only speaking, but also listening. That listening aspect that is so important. And that, I believe, is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 3. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.